Hey, you. Thank you for joining me for episode number 159 of Better Regulate Than Ever. Well, I have so many podcasts that I listen to that I really can't keep up with all of them. And I guess that's okay. I get so much out of all of them whenever I do listen to them. And so whenever I have time, I just look through the long list of podcasts and I just pick one I haven't listened to this one for a while. And I just look through the different topics and pick one that sounds like something I want to know about on that day. And I always get something out of it. So I don't know how you listen to podcasts, but it's probably similar. I know if I have a favorite person or I just love everything they say, I go back and I like to listen to them in order. But sometimes they have so many that it's I don't even have time to go back and listen to all of those. So then I just pick the ones that are the most important to me. So let me know how you like to listen to podcasts, but that's how I do. But I listened to this one this week and it gave me a new word that I didn't know about. Now, all the cool people listening to this podcast will know this word. And if you live with teenagers, you probably know the word, but I did not know it. But it is mid. And I'm assuming it's just spelled M-I-D, that because it's or average or whatever. So I started looking it up because I wanted to know more about it. And it gave me this whole idea for a podcast. So according to Urban Dictionary, the slang word mid is used to describe something or someone as below average or low quality. And it can be used as an insult or to oppose the opinion of another. So in other words, mid can be used as a replacement for boring, not good, mediocre, low quality. So I want to talk about how we can maybe live more in the mid. Now, I know that I just said it's kind of an insult, and I don't want you to live in a way where people are insulting you. And when I think about this is going to be sort of like a mid podcast, I don't want it to mean that it's boring or it's not good. I want to talk to you about how when we sometimes are trying to be too polished, too professional, too perfect, we're actually missing out on connection and missing out on just being and the actual enjoying of the moment. I know with this podcast, I try to be me and I do put that into what I'm doing, but sometimes I'm so worried about what people will think about it or if it's any good. I totally write every word and I don't want to read it, but at the same time, the words are there and then I'm oh no, I'm not saying it right. And then I'm really out of character of me and I'm not having a conversation with you. I'm not connected with you because I'm so worried about making it perfect or that I'm saying all the right words. And as I'm looking at this, I'm I don't look quite right or whatever. And I also didn't do my hair. So that's my mid because I want to show you that not having a polished, perfect product is okay. And that's actually probably more of where we actually want to be in life. You know, when we're striving to be our best all the time, we are putting a lot of pressure on ourselves. And sometimes it just feels like we're performing in our life instead of actually being in our life. I know for different presentations that I've had to do, sometimes I'm so worried about it being perfect. And I'm not a perfectionist, so I don't get that caught up in it, but I do want I want people to think certain things about me, or I want them to get something out of it. And so you do have to be prepared enough that people get something out of what you're doing. But I just really want you to be thinking about not being like so perfected that you lose track of actually connecting with people, because that's the purpose of why we're here. So I'm really just trying to tell you that it's kind of important to, most of the time, just go through life and just be prepared enough and enjoy the ride, enjoy what you see around you, and allow things to kind of happen instead of them always being scripted and planned every second. I met a girl this week that doesn't know how to relax. Now, I can't really relate to that, but I have actually heard of other people saying this before, that when they're relaxing or having free time, they feel like they're wasting their time and they really should be doing something else. And I know that sometimes we are wasting time, and that's why we feel like, oh no, I shouldn't be wasting this time. But when I talked to her about her schedule, it was full of really important, meaningful things. And as she was telling me about it, I couldn't even think of how could you fit in free time into that schedule. So that's a whole nother thing. But one of the things that she said she did was studying for 6 hours. And I was like, every day? And it kind of was a lot of the time. And she felt like, well, that's how I'm prepared for my classes, or that's how I'm prepared to do things. And sometimes people need more studying than others, but I really want you to look at, do you really need as much time as you think you do to prepare for things? Because maybe it's taking 6 hours because you're not really fully focused on what you're doing, and you're also doing kind of other things at the same time. Like, I'm studying, but I'm texting my friend. I'm studying, but I'm trying to catch up on the show. Like, if you just studied and didn't do anything else, you could probably do it in less than 6 hours. And then you've got these extra hours to do things that are fun, and finding things that are fun, and then allowing yourself to have fun. I think we can get too wrapped up in being perfect, or getting perfect grades, or writing the perfect paper, or writing the perfect podcast, or recording the perfect podcast. And then we're sort of losing out on the meaning of the whole thing. The meaning of our lives is to be connecting with people and enjoying the things around us. So I just really want you to start thinking about that. And when I have free time, I've planned. Now, I've just told you, don't plan everything out, but I plan, because then when I have free time, and then I'm having that time and I'm enjoying it, and I'm not thinking, well, I really should be over here doing this other stuff, because I already did those things. And so I can really enjoy the free time, and it doesn't feel like I'm wasting my time. Now, I get feeling like time is being wasted. Like, if I have planned things and then my schedule is messed up, and somebody who wasn't planning their day messes up some of the stuff that I'm doing, I do feel like, oh no, my time's being wasted. And I don't like to waste time that's allotted for work. But I think we can just be really careful about how much time we actually think. Like, maybe we need to do an audit. Maybe we're not actually using that much time because it feels like it's 6 hours, but maybe we could either make it 4 hours and get the same thing done because we're going to focus on it, or maybe we're not really spending that much time. We just think we are. So I don't know. Some things to think about for sure. And the podcast episode that I listened to that brought this up was talking about how when things are so perfected all the time, you're not connecting. And I just thought that is so important. And I was already going to do this episode anyway, but when this girl was talking about she couldn't relax, I was like, I think that again has something to do with that. I want school to be so perfect. I want to be such a perfect student that I don't have time for the other things. And fun and relaxing is really important to our mental health and to our not getting burned out. What if by Christmas time she's like, I can't do this school thing anymore? That would be a tragedy, because she's got a lot of really important goals, but it could get to that point if she's not allowing herself to relax. So I am going to work on the same concept as well as I'm asking you to do the same. And I'm going to look over everything and make sure that the time that I'm taking on my business is focused time, and that I'm not trying to make everything so perfect, and that I just share with you from my heart what I think is important. And that's exactly what I'm doing today, is that it wasn't completely scripted. It's just kind of, hey, this is important information for you to have. And I'm going to try to have a little bit more fun and freedom with this. I am having fun with it, but I think sometimes I make it too, I don't know, too much like school, I guess. And I just want it to be me having a conversation with you about things that are really important, because really my mission in this world is I've experienced a lot of things. I have a really good rapport with young people, and I need to put those things together and share with young people important topics that I wish I would have known when I was your age. So that's really the whole mission that I have, and I want to make sure that that's coming across and not looking like a polished presentation. So, if you need to work on being mid and not perfect, definitely contact me. I want to be able to help you to take some of that perfectionism and just, be prepared enough for life, and then just allow things to happen and have fun and relax and do things where you're connecting with people, because that is going to be really what you remember about life. And that's going to be the fullness and the greatness of life. That's why we're here, is to connect with other people. And I want you to be able to do that without feeling like you're on edge all the time and you're trying to be perfect. I think that the UMAP assessment can help you with that too. So when you work with me, you'll also be doing the UMAP assessment, and then we can talk through all of those areas and about how you can start feeling better and combat some of that perfectionism in just looking at your strengths and values and what you can do with them. So I'll talk to you soon.